I get discouraged for sure, and I will quit fighting at some point. And that point is when the first shovel of dirt hits the top of my box 6 feet down.
Let me say that again, now that I've unmuted myself. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Convention of States, COS Indiana Live. My name's Dale Parrish. I'm the member of the comms team now, former state director, but I'm specializing or focusing on our live streaming and virtual programming. So I want to welcome you to our broadcast this evening. We're having a little some technical problems here, and I see Ken, my co-host, is now with me now. So let me bring him on. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Dale. I'm glad you can finally see me. I've been having some trouble with my browser tonight.
Are you? Okay. Well, nothing like having a little browser problems, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's something we all come to learn to live with, and sometimes
Yes.
I'd like to live without it.
Yes, that's for sure. Are we going to have the video that we have been working on?
Yeah, I can start that when you're ready.
All right. Good. Well, Ken will be our co-host this evening, and as you know, one of Ken's responsibilities is to monitor the comments and questions that we get. So if you are a viewer this evening, feel free to enter your comments or questions in the chat area, and we'll do our best to recognize those as we go through the broadcast this evening. So Ken will let us know when we have something that we want to address. But Ken, we always like to throw the numbers up. This is broadcast number 197. You've been with us for 63 of these. And
63, yeah.
We're closing in on this 200 mark, aren't we? I figure that for the rest of May, that the broadcast on May 29th will be the 200th broadcast.
Isn't that a kind of an apropos time to be doing here, end of May here in Indianapolis, be hitting 200? We could say that we only have 300 more to go to get to 500, and that
do a joint broadcast maybe with the Indy 500, huh?
Yeah, maybe we could broadcast from down there. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I never thought about it. That's good. That's a good idea. Good idea. Well, folks, we're changing our format tonight. And this is just kind of another. You may have noticed we've changed a little bit of the intro, a little different music, a little different procedure in the intro, and we're changing. We're going to make some changes to the format tonight. We're not going to have the Slido tonight. We're not going to have the viewer polling, but we are going to address and try to focus on a national event that took place here recently in Texas. And we're going to show you a little bit about that and hopefully interview someone that attended that particular event. That was a rally in Austin, Texas. Then we're going to shift our focus then back to Indiana. And we have a couple guests for you this evening from here in Indiana. Our new district captain, John Graves, and one of our regional events coordinators, Lisa Phillips, is going to tell us about some a block walking event. This is something new, Ken, that, as you know, has been added to the many activities that we have available here in Convention of States here in Indiana. So, Lisa, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here a little bit, but this block walking event that Lisa put together is the first one for Convention of States here in Indiana.
Should be interesting.
Yeah,
should be interesting. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I think they've already got another one planned for a little later this month, I believe. But we'll quiz her on that. So looking forward to that. So those are some Indiana events that we want to focus on here. So we're going to try, like I said, we're going to try in the future to give you some national news, some national events, national happenings, and then also focus then on what's happening here in Indiana. So I think we're going to trying our best to make the broadcast more interesting to our viewers. So let me see if I can get this card up here that I want to show, Ken, because I want to jump right into the event that took place here in Austin, Texas. Let me see if I can get that up here.
There you go.
This is let me get rid of that number there. Okay. This was a rally in Austin, Texas, and the rally was entitled "How Many More?" And it was convention. This wasn't, and this will come out in the video. This wasn't the Convention of States was one of the groups involved in putting this together, Kim.
Yeah,
and we had a young lady from Convention of States. And I think she was one of many that attended this event in Austin, Texas. And it happened on, I got a little banner here. It's the How Many More rally in Austin, Texas. And it occurred on April 29th, just a couple weeks ago, week or so ago. The young lady is Joyce Berry that attended this event. And she there have been a lot of video generated from this event, but the little video that we're going to show you tonight was a little piece that she did just on her individual phone. So I want to get into that video. We got a hold of Joyce last week, and we recorded an interview with her. She couldn't be on live tonight. So we recorded this interview with her last week, and that's what we've been dealing with on the technical problems tonight. So you think we're ready to go on this, Ken?
I think I'm ready when you are. We're going to go ahead and shoot the video and hope that everything runs.
Oh.
There you go. Right. This is Joyce from the event there in Austin, Texas.
All right, let's go. All right, Ken. Well, we've talked a little bit about the rally that took place in Austin, Texas. How Many More rally? And Ken, I think we've got a special guest with us tonight. We've got a young lady, Joyce Berry, that had actually attended the rally. And there's been a ton of videos put out on this. And I'm sure you've seen of them. I know I've seen some. They're all very, very long videos. But Joyce, I know, attended the rally, and she took a few short videos on her phone. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play one of those videos and kind of give everyone give them a flavor of what was happening at the rally, and it captures Mark Meckler's comments, opening comments of the rally. So let's take a look at the video, and Ken, and then we'll bring Joyce on and introduce her and get her comments on what took place at this rally. You know, I don't know that. Do you have you seen any mainstream news coverage of this rally at all?
Not at all, Dale. That's par for the course, and gives me good reason to look forward to Joyce's perspective on this, because there just has been no coverage that I've seen.
I haven't seen a thing either, and one important point out that I want to point out here is this is a way to express your activism through Convention of States, because we have rallies here in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly have rallies at the State House, and this is a form of activism. I think it's also a form of self-governance.
I was going to say self-governance, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is what we're all about. So this is, I think, just a good example of self-governance and activism, and it took place down in the state of Texas. So let's take a look at the video, and we'll come back and bring Joyce on here very shortly.
Sounds good.
There's a fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves when we look at these pictures, when we think of young girls being sold into slavery, when we think of the families ripped apart by fentanyl poisoning, when we think of the law enforcement officers killed, the innocent civilians killed by illegal immigrants, we have to ask ourselves this simple question: how many more? And I would encourage you to do something, and that is take out a piece of paper when you get home, and on that piece of paper, I want you to write something down. I want you to write down, how many more young girls am I willing to see sold into sexual slavery? I want you to write down, how many more families am I willing to see ripped apart by fentanyl deaths? What's the number? 0. 0 is the number. I want you to write down on your piece of paper, how many more ranchers are we going to allow to be driven from their properties? How many more law enforcement officers are we going to allow to be overrun by illegal immigration in our country? 0. That's the number. It's going to take us. Our government's not going to do it for us. They're not going to do it without us. We are going to have to stand in unison. And that's why you're here today at the How Many More rally. God bless you for coming. There's tens of thousands of more people watching online. I appreciate all the folks that were willing to simulcast this and broadcast this rally out there. But this rally is aimed specifically at that building. We have HB 20 being considered here in this legislature, and that will establish a Texas Border Protection Unit. Yeah. Do we need that? We're asking the governor, we're asking the legislature to declare these cartels to be international terrorist organizations. Are they? We're asking our legislature and our governor to start seizing the assets of these terrorist cartels. Do we need that? We're asking our government to step into the breach. And no, we're not just asking, but we're demanding that. So today is the beginning. It's not simply an event, it's the beginning of a movement. The How Many More movement is going to spread across the country. It's going to unite all the folks that know this is the right thing to do. This is your moment, this is our moment, this is Texas's moment, and this is an American moment. God bless you guys for being here today.
Okay, want to be sure to unmute everybody there. All right. Well, I think hopefully everyone could see that and hear it. That was, of course, Mark Meckler with the opening comments of the rally. So sure looked like a nice day in Texas. They had a good weather day, didn't they?
Beautiful as usual. Yeah, there in Texas, and yeah, it certainly looked like it was a good crowd too. So.
Yeah, nice grassy area to sit on. So let's bring on then our guest, Joyce. And hello, Joyce.
Hi.
Hi, Joyce.
Joyce Berry is one of our assistant regional directors. And Joyce, now you live in Florida, don't you?
I do, but I have a house in Texas, and all of my kids and grandkids and great grandkids are in Texas, so I get to Texas quite frequently.
Okay. I thought maybe well, you had other reasons to go to Texas in addition to attending the rally. But does your family live in the Austin area, or?
They're in the Fort Worth area.
Oh, okay. Are they? Okay. Well, but Joyce is one of our assistant directors, and as we have said and told everyone, this rally was called the How Many More Rally in Austin, Texas, and it occurred on April 29th. So it looked like it was a good rally, Joyce, and I think you told me. How many? Something like about 3,000 or so was
right at 3,000. Yes, sir.
Right at
3,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good sized crowd. For sure. I imagine there probably weren't any protesters on the grounds at all, right?
There were a few, actually. Okay. Yes.
But nothing that led to any violence of any kind.
Everybody was on their best behavior. It was well attended by the state troopers and the Capitol Police. So there was someone there that could quiet any unruly people down. But the group overall was very supportive and energized, but there was no hostilities or no acting out on anybody's part, which was nice to see.
Okay. Now, as we heard in the video, Mark Meckler was kind of the host, I guess, for the rally, right?
He was, yes.
But it wasn't solely a convention of states event. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Actually, there were several groups that came together with Moms of Liberty. Several different groups came together, all with like-minded experience. Parents, I can't remember the name of the group that the fentanyl parents participated in, were there to represent their issues. It was just a really nice combination of like-minded groups coming together for a common cause, which we must see more and more of to get our country back the way we need it to be.
I think that is. I wanted you to touch on this because one of the it's not a piece of legislation necessarily, but one of the things that we've been trying to do in our state legislature here in Indiana this year, and it's going to be an ongoing effort, but we're one of a number of other groups involved in this. So I think that's kind of a trend of multiple like-minded groups coming together to support or oppose a particular piece of legislation or movement. Ken, that Moms for Liberty, we've had them on as a special guest before, haven't we?
Yeah, Tiffany. I know Tiffany was one of the co-founders we had on, and they're obviously their movement focuses on the education portion of things. But I think we all have similar desires to see results that favor getting our country back to a more normal standard, I guess is one way to put it.
Now, and if I remember, now Moms for Liberty, that organization originated in Florida, didn't it?
Yes, the two founders there, the co-founders were both located in Florida. It took both of them to come together over the same school district, really, to put them together to get that started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and I know, and like you said, there were other groups involved other than Moms for Liberty, but when you said Moms for Liberty, that caught my attention. Mm-hmm. So, I know that there were a lot of things Mark was saying a lot of things in the video that I know people are very concerned about, because what's happening at the southern border, it is an invasion, in my opinion. I think it is an invasion, and it's about to get even worse, according to the news reports, very, very soon here. And I tell you, it's just it's a shame as to what's been the things that have occurred and are occurring as a result of this. Not to mention the number of people coming in that are really undocumented, but all the other things happening related to that. So I know, Joyce, that there were some things that really touched you pretty close. You want to name a few of them here and point a few of them out?
I think the biggest impact for me, I mean, there's a lot. The whole rally was excellent. The 3 hours went very, very fast.
Lots 3 hours. Is that what,
3 hours.
The whole thing lasted 3 hours. Okay.
3 hours. And there weren't breaks in there. It was 3 hours straight of people talking about the issues at the border. But the things that impact me the most were the impact on the children, the lives that are lost because of that. The children that we have lost in this country, the unaccompanied minors, who we have no idea where they are. We do have an idea where they are. They're probably sold into the sex trades. They're sold into slavery. We actually probably have more slavery in this country today than we have ever had in this country before, pre-Civil War even, which is a very sad statement to make. There are people coming from, I think they said they got evidence of 192 countries coming in through the southern border. It is not, as many believe, Mexican families who are looking for a better life. It's the cartels coming across. It is people from around the world we do not want coming into our country. They've come from Afghanistan. They've come from Iraq. They've come from all the places that we really thought we were protected from, and they're just walking in. But the thing that really impressed me the most was the fentanyl deaths, the moms with fentanyl deaths of their children and their families destroyed by fentanyl. And the irony is we gave China, taught them how to make fentanyl. We did, which we have to live with that. But they have taken the fentanyl and souped it up now a couple of times. It is so lethal that people just touching it are dying from it. That's
just amazing, isn't it? That's just amazing.
It is.
These are heartbreaking stories of how such a small quantity of fentanyl can kill someone. I mean, it's just amazing, and it's everywhere, isn't it? It's everywhere.
It is. It doesn't impact just Texas, although the rally was in Texas. It impacts the whole country. This is going all throughout the country. The drug cartels have their distribution system set up. It goes to, I'm sure it's in Indiana. I'm sure it's in all of the 50 states.
Sure.
We've had Border Patrol people that have just touched it die. That's how strong this stuff is. And it doesn't take a huge amount. It can be a passive, the wind blows the wrong way and they get the dust and things. It's just, and they're lacing drugs. Some people will buy drugs on the internet and they don't know what they're getting, and they're lacing the stuff with that, and it's killing people.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
It's heartbreaking.
And I think, and of course, as a result of all this, I think you've touched on this a bit, the deaths that have resulted.
Right. It's astronomical. I mean, the deaths due to fentanyl are astounding. The loss in this country of human life is just astronomical. It's hard to find a family anymore who hasn't had someone impacted in their family from it. It's that prevalent throughout the country. And it's not necessarily we think, well, it's the druggies. It's not the druggies. These are people who are trying to do what's right. They get something at a party, or they get something from a friend who they think they're getting a fairly benign pill, and it kills them. There's no controls over anything. So that is just heartbreaking.
Wow.
Heartbreaking. The stories around that.
Yeah.
I understand it's in the hundreds of thousands a year at this point. So it's just.
I believe it is, yes. And it's going up. It's like amazing. I don't remember the statistic, but I will tell you every 7 minutes, which if you think about the average person takes about 7 minutes to go to sleep at night. Unless you're an insomniac like me, and then it takes you a long time. But a normal person.
It takes me more than 7 minutes.
Well, that's supposedly the average that they give you. Well, just think in the time it takes you to go to the refrigerator, get a drink during a commercial, the run of commercials, maybe a couple of runs of commercials. Every 7 minutes, someone is dying from fentanyl overdose or poisoning.
Wow.
That is a significant number.
Now, at the rally, there were experts in all these different areas that spoke about these things, right? Border Patrol agents.
We had the heads of the Border Patrol. We had someone who was under in the Homeland Protection group who spoke. We had Chip Roy speak, who was a legislator who spoke to the significance of it. He spends a lot of time at the border. One of the ironic things that we constantly hear people say in Texas is, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Right. People don't, because the mainstream media will not broadcast this information and get the word out there. People think it's a minor event, and it's no minor event. It is a huge event. The people flooding in every day, the accidents that occur with the coyotes bringing people in and rolling vans trying to escape from the Border Patrol. A couple of weeks ago, there was a van that rolled over and killed, I think it was like 9 or 10 people in it. So it's not just Americans that are dying. These people that are coming in are dying as well. The ranchers are having invasions of their property, and they are attacking the ranchers. The ranchers are continually finding bodies on their property where these people die. It's a hard trek, even under the best of circumstances. It's a hard trek, and it's getting hotter. It's fixing to get really bad. So you can expect to get that. That's going to be much worse than it has been over the winter. One of the things that happens, because the smugglers bring them in such confined spaces, they have found tractor trailers loaded. And I'm talking about the trailer loaded with people that have suffocated from the heat. And that's going to only continue. It's just mind-boggling, the waste of human life that occurs.
Heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. Well, let's wind this up on the note of the whole purpose of the rally was in support of Texas House Bill 20, which was to form a Southern Border Protection Unit. We're abbreviating the actual title of the bill here, but Southern Border Protection Unit. So kind of give us an update as to what transpired with regard to this piece of legislation.
Well, ironically, people have been pushing for this for quite some time, and the Health Judiciary Committee in Texas met on the Friday before the rally and suddenly passed it out of committee. I think that's a pacifist effort to get us pacified that we'll go away and shut up, but we're not going away and shutting up. So, one thing might be of interest to people, that they are using the invasion as the legal way to deal with this. It is not dealt with on an immigration basis, because the federal government has a responsibility for immigration, but the state has a responsibility to protect from an invasion. And this is, in fact, an invasion of the state and our country.
That's a good point. Good point. Okay. Very interesting. Well, it's passed out of committee, and as we know, that's one of the important steps in the process of getting a bill passed in most states. I know that's the way it is in Indiana too. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So, all right. Well, Joyce, we certainly do appreciate you taking the time to update us on this event. And if you're going to be going to any other rallies, let us know, and we'll bring you on. Ken, you got anything else on your mind with regard to this?
No, it is a bit overwhelming, and like Joyce has said, it's just one of those things that it's just not being covered. So, majority of the American people have no idea how bad it is, and even the people that are there in Texas didn't have that perception. So, it is something we have to continue to push this House bill, and we have to get the rest of the country on board and just stop this. It's just, it's a real lack of protection to the American people, and that's where the government's failing us. They're not protecting the American people.
All right. Very good. Couldn't have said it better.
No.
Very good, Ken. All right. Joyce, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good evening. All right, Ken, I think that's a wrap. I think this has been a good interview, and hopefully we'll be doing more interviews of this type as we events like this occur all across the country, as well as in Indiana. So until we find another one, until we come across another one, everyone, have a good day.
Thanks, Dale.
All right. Well, that was good, Ken. We made it through, didn't we?
We made it through, and it played well. So sometimes video can be tricky, but it works. So we thank Joyce for her cooperation and certainly catching a good portion of that on her phone. So
just a quick update on HB 20. I understand that it was before the House for a vote today in Texas. I don't know as of our broadcast time tonight. I don't know if that vote has occurred or how it turned out. So hopefully it passed, and which is certainly a positive note. Of course, that's just another one of the steps involved in making that a permanent piece of legislation. Well, Kent, let's shift our focus now from national events. Let's focus now on Indiana. And I want to bring on one of our new district captains and talk to this young man and introduce him to everyone. So, everyone, I want you to meet Mr. John Graves. Hello, John.
Hello, Dale.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Glad to have you this evening, John. And John, we always try to bring on new district captains, anyone that steps up to take a leadership position in Indiana, which is another way of expressing your activism, and among the many ways that we have available, but taking on a leadership role. So, John, let's tell us something about you. You're the district captain for House District 42, right?
Correct. That's
right.
That's the western central part of the state, Warren County, Vermilion County, Fountain County, and parts of Park and Vigo.
Okay, can you speak a little louder if you would?
Sure,
maybe?
I can speak louder. I'm good at talking.
Okay. All right. Say those towns. I like to give people an idea of where in the state you're located. So say those towns again, please.
I'm in the west central part of the state, over by the Illinois line. We're in Warren County, Vermilion County, Fountain County, and parts of Park and Vigo County.
Okay. All right. Good. That gives us a good idea. So, folks, any of you that live in those areas and want to talk to John about a convention of states, I'll tell you what, John, I normally ask if you will stay, if anyone's interested, stay tuned, and we'll be giving you our email address where you can you can send us an email, and we'll get the word to John and have him contact you. So I forgot to put that in here. Ken, have you got that real handy?
Let me check. I'll take a look for that.
Okay, we're going to go on here, but you
Yep, I'll look for that in
find
the
that
banner
for us,
section.
and so we can throw that up before we let John go here. Okay, John, we always like to hear from new leadership individuals. We always like to hear there it is, raise your voice, COS@gmail.com. So anyone in John's area that would be interested in convention estates, you don't have to be a leadership role. It can be anything. But if you want to become a supporter of convention estates, contact John and send us an email, and we'll get you in contact with John Graves. But back to your COS story, John. Tell us the how, when, where you came across convention estates, if you would.
Well, I signed the petition at a rally in Indianapolis in 2017 with anticipation of becoming active when I retired in 2018. Then shortly after I retired, I ran into some health issues of my own. It took me a while to get those straightened out. I got healthy enough for my wife and I to go to the rally in Washington, D.C. on January the 6th.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. And then my wife had some health issues, and the petition signing all took a backstage for that, but she's healthy now, and it's time for me to get active.
Oh, good. Well, great. Boy, your experience on January 6th, we ought to bring you on sometime and talk about that.
We didn't encounter any of the trouble that all the Democratic legislatures seem to be able to find on video.
Right. Were you at the Capitol building or close to it?
Yes, we were on the Capitol steps. We were on the west side of the building, and the building was breached on the east side of the Capitol. We didn't go around. We got a little tear gas, but that was about the extent of our
Is that right? Really?
event of our troubles that day.
Wow. Interesting. Well, so well, good. Well, thank you for that. Well, John, as you know, one of the main responsibilities of a district captain, of course, is to contact his or her legislators, your state legislators, state reps, state senator, and develop a relationship with them as best you can. So tell me, who's your state rep?
Well, my state representative is Alan Morrison. Our state senator for the northern part of our district is Spencer Deary, and I've talked to Spencer. Alan and I have missed each other. We've kind of been playing phone tag. And then the state senator for the southern part of our district is Bob Ford, and I've met him. Okay,
good. Well, it sounds like you're on the right track there. Very good. Well, tell me, what are some of your objectives for your district for 2023 that you want to try and accomplish?
Well, I'd like to grow a grassroots army in western Indiana. It's kind of a sleepy area, very rural, but that doesn't mean that we can't be active. So that's my goal, is to just build a really strong grassroots army in this district. Yeah.
Now, I used to, I'm from the St. Louis area. So when we would go home, we would go down to Indy and get on 70 and head west to St. Louis. I think we would be going through your counties or close to them. So yeah, it's very rural down in that part of the state, isn't it? Yes.
They got a great state park out there too. That Turkey Run State Park is one of the gems of Indiana state parks.
Oh, it's a great place to go and see the nature of Indiana. And then, of course, in the fall, Park County has their Covered Bridge Festival. There are, multiple covered bridges to go see in the county. And and the festival itself is just a grand view of what rural Indiana can put together in a fall weekend.
I've done that tour. It's a great tour of covered bridges. Yeah. Yep.
Now, back when I was in the classic car hobby, I think do they have runs on classic car runs during that covered bridge festival? Or
there are some car shows around, but the classic car premier event in Indiana is the Newport Hill Climb in Newport, Indiana.
Oh yeah,
it's a very steep hill right there in the center of town that goes south up the hill from the courthouse, and they have races up that hill the first weekend in October with all kinds of antique and modified classic vehicles.
Oh wow.
Sounds like a couple of great spots for some tables during some of those events there, John.
Absolutely. Good idea, Ken.
Well, John, you say that you want, one of your objectives is to, build a grassroots army and that part of the state. How are you going to go about doing that? What are some of the things that you're thinking about doing to bring that about?
Well, we hope to have a presence at all three of the locations in the Covered Bridge Festival this fall. And of course, Ken's idea with the Newport Hill Climbs, I'll probably capitalize on that too. Ken, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we have a monthly meeting every month, and we just had our first one a week ago or so. And we'll have one every month in Rockville. Rockville's kind of the center of the district, so we're going to try to stay centered if we can. It's a pretty spread out district.
Good. All right. Sounds good, John. Best of luck to you. I think you're going to do great for us. Well, John, as you know, we like to stress self-governance for all of our members, be it leadership or whatever role you're in. That's our right and our duty to be involved in government at any level that seems best for you. So what are some of the other activities that you're involved in that would come under the heading of self-governance, would you say?
Well, I'm active in my church. I teach a class every Wednesday night. But beyond that, I'm on the Board of Zoning Appeals for the county, and I just accepted a position with the county commissioners to remodel some offices for the county here in Newport.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Zoning commission. Is that zoning commission? Is that the proper name of it?
Well, there's the area plan commission, which is one committee. And then a portion of that committee is the committee on the Board of Zoning Appeals, which we deal with variances. If somebody has something that they want to attempt that doesn't fit our area plan area, then they have to file a variance, and that's what comes before my committee.
All right. Well, good. Well, that sounds interesting. Sounds like you're involved, and that's what self-governance is all about. So,
absolutely.
John, thank you for coming on tonight, and I want to wish you best of luck. I've heard a lot of good things about what you're doing, so keep up the good job.
And John, our new state director happens to be tuned in tonight, so he wanted to send a message to you. Just going to put that up briefly here. He says, we're extremely grateful that John has stepped up to fight alongside the rest of the COS Indiana family. So he's happy to see you rolling up your sleeves and getting down and dirty here.
I'm thankful for Dale Tipton. I've been thankful for Dale Parrish, and both you guys have been role models for me for quite a while. Thank you.
We've been watching you, John. You can't hide. We're going to watch you. Okay.
All righty.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, good guy, Ken. I think
he's going to do well out there in the rural country. I know.
Doing well. Yeah. Well, listen, we got a little John's Journal that let's go ahead and do that, and then we're going to bring on another great individual in a leadership role here in Indiana, Lisa Phillips, one of our regional events coordinators. So let's listen to John's journal here, and then we'll bring on Lisa.
John Ackerman for Convention of States, Indiana. Today I'm going to borrow some words from that great writer Dostoevsky. He wrote so much. He said so many good things. But this is the one that I want to talk about today. He's credited with writing, "The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he's in a prison." Think about that. And in March of 2020, when the government ordered people to stay home, ordered businesses to close, said some jobs are essential, some are not. Holy cow. How would I have felt? I was retired by that time, but how would I have felt if I had been told your work is not essential? What the world? We didn't know. But we were in a prison. We were in a prison. We didn't remember what Dostoevsky wrote. The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he's in a prison. Well, guess what, folks? Now we know. The lights have been turned on. And I hope never again will the American people bow to dictators who say, stay home, lock yourself in, be afraid, don't go to work, forget about your normal life, don't even have Thanksgiving or Christmas. Remember, they told us that. Don't even get together with your family. May we never be in prison again.
That was a powerful one. You're muted, Dale. Let me unmute you. There you go. Still muted. Have to unmute yourself, Dale.
Yeah.
There you go. I know. That's one of those technical things, right?
It is. Just not with it. And I
That's
was
okay.
saying, I don't know what got into John on this particular theme, but it's always he's always got a good theme. So yeah, we enjoy his contributions. So
always reminding us of those things. So that's good.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Well, let's bring on this young lady, and I'm going to bring her on right now. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, guys. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Lisa.
Great.
Hi, Ken.
Lisa is, as I've mentioned already, one of our regional events coordinators.
Yeah.
And Lisa, you've initiated an activity, and I want to stress this as much as I can, that while we have so many activities where a person can express their activism, it doesn't have to be a leadership role. It doesn't have to be any of the various things that we have. This is, in fact, block walking is, in fact, a way to express your activism. So what can I ask? Now, I know we haven't rehearsed this. I know. So we're kind of we're going to go as questions arise. Was there something in particular that got you interested in this particular activity? Because you're this block walking event that we're going to feature tonight that you organized is the first one for Convention of States here in Indiana.
Yeah. So last fall, I went down to Florida to the Convention of States convention that the COS team hosted. And I went to a class on block walking because I was curious. I'm like, what do they do in block walking? And it just inspired us to want to come back and start doing it because it's so easy. And it's not only easy to do, it helps build relationships within our organization and helps bring more people in, which is the goal of what we want to do in our grassroots.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And this event that you organized, where did it take place and when?
So we were down in Roanoke, Indiana, and it was on April 29th. And we were a little nervous that week because I think we had snow earlier in the week, but by the time Saturday came, we were blessed. We had a beautiful day.
Yeah.
The sun was out. It couldn't have been more perfect.
All right. Now, I know we have an individual, Andrew, I can't think of his last name. What's his last name?
Andrew Barkman.
Andrew Barkman is kind of the COS block walking coordinator, I think, for at the national level, right?
Yes.
And I guess he helped you organize this. And
yes. So he was actually the gentleman that I sat in a class with down in Florida. And then when I came home, I contacted him, and he's wonderful. He sends you a kit, and it has everything in it that you need. It has clipboards, pens. It has the script. It has the leave behind information. So really all you have to do is gather a few folks and get out and walk. So it's one of the easiest events I think that we've done, as far as there's not a lot of heavy setup or prep or this or that. And I was surprised at how successful it was. It was a wonderful day of how many people wanted to talk, wanted to know more. And yeah, just being able to talk to everybody was great.
Meet and greet the neighbors.
Meet and greet the neighbors. Yeah.
Can you tell us what were some of the issues that people talked about that they were concerned about?
Well, so the way that Convention of States has the script written out is wonderful, because it just explains who we are, what we're about, the 3 things that we would like to see pursued. And, those 3 things are the term limits and the budget and bringing things back to the state versus the federal government. And so if you follow the script, which is really easy to do, you ask questions. Do you believe in term limits? And every single person, yes.
Really?
And then you say, would you like a balanced budget? And of course, they're all like, everybody needs a balanced budget. And so when you ask those things, they continually say yes, yes, yes. And so then you're like, so would you be willing to sign our petition and join Convention of States? And they're like, yes. So it really made it pretty easy. We had a couple, I think the other team that went out with us had a few people that said, well, we'd like to look into it more, which what a great response. So then you hand them the handout, they can get online and they can do their homework and figure it out and see if they want to be a part of it. So it's a pretty easy. As far as issues, once you talk about those 3 things, they're ready to sign. And so you don't stand and you don't debate a lot. It's a quick conversation. And they appreciate that too, because they don't want to be at their door 20 minutes talking. It was a Saturday morning and they had things to do, but yeah, it worked out great.
And this was, I'm sorry, Ken, did you want
I was curious, Lisa, did you have anybody that wanted to add on to the 3 things we were talking about? I'm curious.
Well, we did have some people, we had some that, I know we have to have hope, but how is a convention going to work? And, so we would just talk and give them a few details. And we had a few people also say, well, I've never seen a balanced budget. How are we going to, and I said, well, that's why we host a convention. And so as long as you just keep going back to the basics of what we're about and what we want to accomplish, that seems to satisfy them to where they either want to know more or they're like, okay. And then they went ahead and signed. So
great.
So I was going to mention, I'll make sure I'm correct here. This is not intended. You're not, the intention is not to enter into a debate with people, is it?
No. As a matter of fact, if they came across and said anything that could have been negative or could have been something that would have started a debate, the easiest thing to do is just say, well, I appreciate your opinion, but I want you to have a great day. And you could just end it and walk off. Okay. You're more productive when you're meeting people that want to talk to you versus people that you don't. And to be honest, the areas that you should block walk, they say a lot of times, are suburbs. Those people, lots of houses in a row, so you can get to lots of people. And those people tend to want to talk. It works out great. So,
Well, we got some pictures here. I'd like for you to kind of tell us what we're seeing here.
Yeah. So in that first picture with the vehicles, that was just us waiting for everyone to arrive and just passing out the clipboards that each team gets to put the signatures on, and then the script is on, and just doing a brief training of what to do and what not to do.
Okay.
And so just getting everybody ready to go. And then the picture beside is the other team that went with us that day. And we pass out maps, so we're not crossing over and, double knocking on houses. And so that was a team that went the other direction and had a great day as well.
And how many houses did you get?
So the average, they say, is about 20 an hour you can get to, depending on how much you're talking. You got to keep the conversations a minute or two. And that's really about all it takes. I think we did, I'm trying to remember the exact number, 59 houses that day. Wow. I know we walked a little slower. But yeah, I think we hit about 59 houses, and we ended up with 16 signatures, which I think is really good for about under a 2-hour event.
Yeah, you only did this for about 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it was under a 2-hour event. And then, but we had lots of houses where people were not home. So we were able to leave stuff behind in their door. So hopefully some of those folks will get on and read about that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here you are.
Yeah. The first picture with the gentleman, he was signing the petition, and he was actually one that did have a lot of questions that day about convention estates, and just it opened it up more. And I wouldn't be surprised, maybe someday he might even get involved.
Oh.
Yeah. He was just talking about things we should do, how we should do it, and it needs to be done. And yeah, it was a great conversation. And then the next one was a lady, she was out working in her yard that day, and we stopped to talk to her, and yeah, she immediately was for it and signed it and wished us well. I mean, she was great. So
good.
We encountered great people.
And this is a great picture, I think. Yeah.
This is the fun part. So after we walked, then we met up at a local restaurant, because we want to, take care of our local folks too. So this was a local restaurant that we sat and had lunch at together and talked about some of the people that we met that day and how our day went. And then there was a table over in the corner that had 4 ladies, and they kept turning around and looking at our shirts, since we all had the same shirts on. And so we ended up going over and talking to them, and we got 3 more signatures out of the table. So that worked out really well.
Good.
So,
now, the shirts, I understand that was a kind of a benefit for participating in the event.
Yes. So if you become a block walker, which anyone can do, you have to be a COS activist and be part in our citizen builder, so you can do the training. And the training basically is just a few videos that you watch that show you proper way to go up to the doors and talk to people, where to stand, how not to debate, some legal things that you need to follow as well. And then you order your t-shirt. And when you order your t-shirt, you pay for it up front. But then if you show up to Block Walk on the day of the event, the host will take down your name and then submit that to COS, and then you get reimbursed fully for your t-shirt. Oh. So you get a free t-shirt out of the deal. So it works out great.
Great. Well, good. Now, I understand we've got another event already planned.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have one on May 20th in Fort Wayne on the north of DuPont Road a little bit more. And so we'll be walking, I think it's Winsboro edition there. And so we'll have a team out there meeting, and then going off and doing some walking, and then some lunch afterwards at Cosmos. So I think it's going to be a great day.
Good. Are you aware of any other regions or any other districts, any other events coordinators planning block walking events in the state?
So as of now, I haven't heard of any other ones yet. I know there is a gal that is in charge of the event coordinators in Indiana, has texted me and said that she would like to start a block walking as well. So hopefully we'll get a few more of those going. And it's a way to really reach a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Yep.
And that's the goal.
Well,
the more people, the more we can bring in, the more we can get on to convention estates.
Right. Thank you very much. You never can tell. An event like this, you may touch somebody and talk to someone that maybe is not expressing an interest at that very moment.
Yes.
But later on,
yep.
You could be planting a seed that could develop later on with someone. So
That's right. You know, one conversation can turn into they hear something later on the news that they don't agree with, that they could pull that card and boom, there they are. They're with you. So you just never know. So very good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much.
We have one more Dale tip here that he wanted to give that to you, Lisa. He wanted to give you a hat tip, basically for the folks in Region 5 and initiating that block walk, and hopefully we'll have many more to follow that. So just wanted to catch you before you left.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lisa. Very good. I always enjoy having Lisa on, and I think she's starting something very good there. That's very good.
Sounds great.
All right, Ken, let's start wrapping things up here. I wanted to mention our next broadcast, which will be next Monday, the 15th. It'll be Chalk Talk with Debbie Stewart coming on to talk about constitutional literacy. I'm not sure what her specific topic is going to be, but we always enjoy having Debbie on. So she will be our guest next week. And once again, we'll try to touch on some national events going on. I know there's some, maybe we'll have an update on the how many more legislation out of Texas. I know there's some other states involved in addressing the COS resolution. So we'll hopefully have some national news as well as more Indiana news.
Dale, we did have a question, which I'm not sure you have any updated information on, but this does happen to deal with our own Indiana legislation. But David Todd had asked if we knew anything about HB 79. Do we know anything additional on HB 79? Or
I sure don't.
Yeah,
not right.
Not sure if anybody in the chat group has any updates on that, but we'll try and get an update on that for you, David, at some point.
Yeah,
and look forward to getting that on there. And he had another question concerning Debbie, but he was wondering if she was on Facebook. She's on Facebook when she's on COS Indiana Live. That's
right.
That's where you can catch her. So tune in when Debbie's back on with us, and it's always a good entertaining time to tune in with Debbie.
Yeah. Also wanted to mention our next roundtable is coming up on May 22nd. Mm-hmm. And I think we've already decided that our topic for that roundtable is going to be the Runaway Convention. And I'm not quite sure how we're going to frame that, but there's always a lot of talk about, the fear of holding a convention of states and it turning into a runaway convention. I know there's also a lot of things that have been written about the Continental Congress in 1787 was actually a runaway convention, and it wasn't. So anyway, we're gonna try to address a lot of the questions surrounding the runaway convention at our.
It'll be good to address that because I think more people are worried about a runaway government that we have right now. Never mind a runaway convention.
Right. Couldn't be any worse than what we have right now. That's for sure. All right. I just want to mention one more time our email address, and that is raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. So if you have any questions or comments after the broadcast tonight that you would like to submit to us, feel free to email us, raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com.
Perfect.
All right, Ken. Well, I think that's a wrap for this evening, Ken. And I hope everyone has enjoyed the change in format of our broadcast tonight. And if you have enjoyed this, if you have any comments, pro or con, please send us an email and let us know what you think about this. Because we're always trying to make our live stream more interesting to people. And
we've got more planned. We're just getting started on that. So we've got more plans in the workings. So hopefully it will give us a chance to work out some of the kinks and certainly get the format underway the way we'd like to see it go.
Yep. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We want it to be even a more successful than it is right now. So, with that, good night, everyone. Thank you, Ken, for everything, and we will see you all here, same time, same place, next Monday evening, 7
Sounds
p.m.
good.
So, good night, everyone.